Morning, folks. Bay State Yankee here. I'm back. Um, it's been, if you're a regular follower, it's been several years. You probably thought I went away for good, but I think at some points I did too. I want to talk to you today about spinal stenosis. And if you've never heard about it, good, I'm happy for you. If you happen to have it, or you know someone that has it, my heart goes out to you. If you know me personally, you know that I have never been one to visit the doctor, although they're friendly. I just don't care to go there. And I've been genuinely healthy for a number of years. I just turned 75. And, I had a few accidents here and there, fall off the roof, car accident, just typical things that people just happen to have. But I've never had anything like this. And I want to say that the pain level for this particular thing is off the charts. And I'm sure if you have it, you tend to agree. It comes out of nowhere whenever it feels like it. It hits you like a brick and you go down. And that's exactly what happened to me. We had a miserable winter here, and it started like with the snowblower dying in the middle of a storm, and the worst winter we've had in 10 years. Not being able to fix it because it was below zero out here. Had to order parts, someone else took care of the driveway, yada yada. It was the year that our family stepped up to the plate to help us get through things, living here that we've never had to have help with before. And as an independent person, that alone broke me. When I had to say to, my own kids, we need help, we can't do it. That literally broke me. And it took a lot to get beyond that. And that was just the beginning. Started right after the new year. I was gonna build a woodshed in the backyard. And I think almost 6 years ago, I mentioned it first time on a video, and then one thing led to another. It got pushed to the back burner and everything. Well, last summer I decided, no more back burner. I'm gonna build that woodshed. So I bought all the materials I needed, and I staged them in the garage. And in the fall and early winter, I actually built the back wall and 2 side walls and had them here in the garage. And I had all the material for the deck, cut to size, everything. I had everything, including the roofing, all here in the garage. So in the spring, I could just jump right on it. And that was probably the end of the good things that happened. At the beginning of the new year, it was brutal, like I said, brutally cold. The snowstorm, the snowblower broke down like that. Then we got into February. We had to put our dog down, and that broke my heart. After that, we decided that since the house was so cold, that we would have someone come in and insulate the ceiling in the basement. The house was built in '65. It was a typical ranch at the time before we added on. And under the floor, for the main floor, was very little insulation, and in some areas nothing. And the basement is not heated, so therefore cold would permeate up, and we ran a wood stove, so, we kind of lived with it. But we got this deal through the power company, and they would come in and they would do all this, and so we made a phone call, and they came, and they did their best, I guess. I'm trying to think positive here. they did their best, and they were done. They left, and it was the most miserable job I've ever seen. And in a few videos from now, I'll take you down and show you how we're correcting all that. But so they finished. We shook their hand, let them go, and then we went down and made a list of all the things we're going to have to do to correct, what they had done. But in order for them to work, we had to remove a lot of the stuff that was up near the ceiling, so the guys could have room to tuck the insulation up in there. So we thought that was a lot of stuff, but we did anyway, and we had to move it. So we moved it all up into we have a 2-car garage. So we moved it up there, and they came, they did the work, they left, and then we got some help to help move the stuff back down. We were unboxing things and putting stuff back and everything. As soon as we got all done, the sump pump in the basement failed. So picture me at 6:30 in the morning on my hands and knees, standing, kneeling over a hole in the basement, water spraying up, trying to hook up a new pump, as we always kept a backup pump there. So trying to hook up a new pump and get the water under control. By that time, in the south end of the basement, we had maybe 2 or 3 inches of water on the floor. And I got the new pump in, and that immediately started pumping the water out. Got that under control. Had to clean up that mess, bring all the wet stuff up to the garage. And then after that, we took a break, and we had a good conversation about what we were gonna do. I mean, we're both getting older, and I'm in pain. My back is killing me now. And the wife is like, I can't keep doing this, and so are we gonna sell the house and move, or finally fix this basement? So we decided that we would fix the basement, or we would at least get someone in here to look at it. So we had this company, we did some research, and we had this company come in, and we liked the sounds of it. They would dig a channel all the way around the inside of the basement, jackhammer the cement. They would be responsible for removing all the debris. They would lay in pipe. They would cover the walls with this white vinyl. Before they did though, they would drill holes in the base of the walls, which are concrete block, to relieve the water pressure from outside. And when they did, there was a lot. The water came way in, So they did that. They got everything wrapped up. They moved the sump pump hole from the south end of the house to the north end, and they ran a line underground outside about 85 feet away from the house, and dug a deep dry well, put the water into there with a vent at the top. Took about a week to do the whole job correctly. A lot of money. It was a lot of money. However, I would have lost more than that if I tried to sell the house. So I guess in the end it was worth it. And then to find another place in this area is just forget about it, So we paid the money, they did the job. But in order for them to do that, we had to remove everything from the basement, not just the stuff at the top. We had to take out walls, anything that was attached to a wall or 4 feet away from the wall, we had to take out. It took us almost 4 weeks, I think, to prep for that. We had to put in a sub panel for the electric. It was like, I'd get up early in the morning and I would work on it until I was exhausted, and I would take a nap and I would go back and forget about what time of day it was. It was crazy. We had family and friends helping us tear out stuff, break down walls, bring the stuff out. We completely filled the 2-car garage so we couldn't even use it. And the stuff was piled 5 or 6 feet deep in most cases. We finally got it ready. They come in, they did the job. After the fact, we had to wait for cement to dry and, you know, things to straighten out before we could actually go down there. And then, so we got, you know, everything started moving back in and everything. And then one nice day in the spring, we decided that we were going to take a break and not work in the basement. We were going to go outside. And that's when the spinal stenosis hit me big time. Just walking on the grass out there, and had a rake in my hand, and we were discussing the yard and the condition, winter damage, you know, that kind of stuff. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, everything stopped working from my waist down. And I mean, I had no feeling in my legs. I had no strength to hold myself up. And gravity took over, and down I went. And I went forward, and I was trying to catch myself with the handle of the broom, you know, by holding it like this. But I still went down hard and landed on both knees. And it felt like I had driven a spike right up my spine, right up the middle of the spine, just like that. Excruciating pain, and it happened in a split second. So I kind of had to get my breath, and she was right there to help me, and, you know, but she's not anywhere near my size, so, you know, she couldn't lift me, so we had a cart, so she brought the cart there, and I was able to, with the rake and the cart and her help, stand up. And I went inside and sat down, and, you know, another round of Tylenol, and rested for a while. And long story short, ended up at the doctor next day, and he told me the same thing: take it easy, you know, stop falling, take Tylenol, rest, you know, you're getting old, that's what you got to do, you know. So I did. And we started moving stuff back in the basement. You know, we had family and friends, and everybody was helping, and we were getting rid of things, and luckily we were able to sort everything out while it was up in the garage. We decided if we weren't going to keep it, don't put it back. So we were doing that. So we were busy running to the dump and donating stuff and delivering things to people that we gave them to, and all kinds of stuff, and trying to clean the garage back out so we could get the car in at least. And then I decided I got enough cleaned out, I could start working on the shed. First thing I had to do was build the deck. So I split the job up into 2 days. Because of the way I felt, I thought, the first day I'll just build the framework. That's it. Build the framework. So I built the framework. I was sore. I had to get down in a couple instances on my hands and knees, and I have a kneeling pad, you know, but I was sore, you know, because the pain goes right up your back, you know, and I dealt with it. I came in, Tylenol, rest, hot shower. Next day, I was determined I was going to get that deck finished. All I had to do was nail down enough 2x6s to cover the 4x8 piece. It's not a lot. I think it was like 11, I can't remember. So I got out there and I started doing that. And I finished. And when I say finished, I was finished. And I came back in. I was gonna take a shower, you know, hot shower, some more Tylenol, and I never even made it to the bathroom. And everything gave out, and I went down hard on the hardwood floor. 2 hours later, I had been taken to the hospital in the ambulance, and I was laying in there and they were drugging me with something, I don't know what it was, but it was wonderful. And after x-rays and a couple rounds of that, they decided that there was nothing broken, but they definitely knew that there was something going on in my back and my spine. I needed to go see somebody. So I had to go see my primary, yada yada, the routine. You go through all that, you beg and you cry, you finally get the MRI. You get the MRI, then the specialist will look at you. So I went to see him just recently, a few days ago actually, and it was the results of the MRI already confirmed I had the spinal stenosis in my lower back. I don't know if it's L's4 or L5 or something, I'm not sure. Way down the bottom, the first couple. And now he decided that we're going to do cortisone shots. He says that because I have so much osteoarthritis, which I didn't know I had, in my hips, and everything that they looked at, he goes, every joint I'm looking at is loaded with this stuff. Well, I'm kind of not surprised, but anyway, he feels that we'll do the cortisone first, and then take it from there. I have high hopes, very high hopes. Not sure how that's going to work out. But anyway, I was depressed. And I imagine anyone else with this is probably in the same boat. And it's hard to fight. But I have been independent since I was a kid. And when someone told me you can't do something, I found a way to do it. That was just my hallmark. That's what I did. And finally, I realized I had to reinvent myself. I could not be doing what I was doing. I had to, if I was going to do it, I had to do it in a different way. So just recently, I decided I'll start doing videos, and I will start doing videos on how I managed to get my things done, like in the previous videos, but in a different way so that I can work around the pain that I'm in every single day. Right now, just sitting here in the chair, it's the pain that just keeps coming. Today wasn't a particularly good day, but we'll go through that later. So anyway, I will not be here trying to sell you anything. I don't have any magic potion. I don't have a solution to my problem, let alone yours, but maybe by showing you some of the things that I'm doing, it will give you the motivation to try to get up and do stuff to pull ourselves together out of this depression, literally depression. It works on our minds, and that's the most debilitating thing I can think of. It kills you, and we can't let that happen. So that's what the video is going to be about. For the next few videos, I don't know how many, 4 or 5, I made a list of things that I could talk about. And I'll show you how I get around, the things that we've built in order so I can move around the yard. The different gadgets I picked up and whether or not they work or not. Some of the things I got was, I bought a thing to put my socks on, and I don't know who invented that. It worked for at least 3 days, and then it was practically useless. And then I found another one that was less expensive, very simply made, and I'm still using it today. So anyway, so I'll be happy to show you the things that I did that worked and the things that didn't work. And it certainly won't be a professional video, but it will be real. There is not going to be anything that's even close to AI in this. I totally despise that. And actually, when I realize I'm watching something with that, I turn it off. I promise you, there won't be anything AI. It's just simple, down-to-earth stuff. We live here in New England, and we're subjected to unbelievable amounts of extreme weather. Today, the sun has been out. The sun has been totally missing. We've had torrential rain. We had dry. The temperature was in the 60s. I think now it's in the mid 80s. And I got down in the 50s tonight, and it's like back and forth and back and forth. And it's the last day of July. So that's just it. We've learned to live with that. But of course, your arthritis kind of plays along with that, you know, like it's a melody. In any case, I'm rambling, so I just wanted to close this video and tell you that I'm coming back soon. There's going to be more videos on the stenosis and how I'm dealing with it. And then I would like to say that we will phase out of that and back into regular videos. I'll show you the shed that we're building. Regretfully, I'm not doing it all myself. My wife, my grandsons, a neighbor have helped, and I thank them from the bottom of my heart because I really needed it. I'm going to need help moving the firewood, the new loads of firewood, which I postponed, to the sheds, and moving the stuff ready to burn back into the garage. That won't happen till probably Thanksgiving. The family will all be around that day, that weekend, and they have committed to helping us move in a winter's worth of firewood into the garage to avoid us having to trek out there every 3 or 4 days for cartloads of wood. That will be a blessing. Currently, I'm getting rid of a lot of leftover materials from the garage. I have people coming to pick up things, and we have to kind of clean it all up. Getting rid of stuff that we've kept and, you know, I would use for projects and stuff. And a lot of the stuff is in the attic over me here in the garage. And I can't even get it down now. So I have someone coming Saturday to help me pull that stuff down, and we can move things out. It's a big change in my life, and for me, I find it disturbing. I was quite happy doing what I was doing, you know, and I could have done it for the rest of my life, but now I can't do it. So I'm sure a lot of you are in a similar position, and I hear you, you know, so let's see if we can work through this together and come up with some solutions. If you have anything to add, please leave a comment. I'd be happy to answer you. Maybe you're doing something that will help me, and maybe I'm doing something that'll help you, and together we can move ahead. It'll make us both feel better. So with that being said, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again in another video, and have a great day. Thanks.